Sex is God's idea. It's a little odd when you think about it, but it's also quite wonderful. I believe God made us for pleasure. In fact, the name of the garden where He placed Adam and Eve, naked no less, was the Garden of Eden, the garden of pleasure. And He designed our bodies to experience great pleasure, especially when we connect with one another in an intimate, physical way. But you know, my belief is that ultimately God made intimacy possible so that we could have intimacy with Him. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and 7 addresses the issue of sexual immorality because Corinth, the city of whom he spoke, was a place where sex was pretty much worshipped and people were very free in giving and receiving physical intimacy. Well, Paul proposes something that is quite amazing and radical. He says that the body is not made for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. He's saying that you are not your own, but you've been bought with a price, that you should glorify God with your body. And the implication is that sex ultimately is about our relationship with God Himself. The Old Testament assures us over and over again that God is a jealous God, and He cares about what we do with our bodies. In fact, in the Old Law, under the time of Abraham and following, God put His mark on a very intimate place to remind us that sexuality belongs to Him. Now, in marriage, of course, He allows us the freedom to share our bodies with another person, but in a particular context that has His blessing and approval. That's all well and good. If you're married, you have a sexual partner. Even though it's restrictive, you have someone you can be intimate with. But in dating or in times when sexual intimacy is not possible, what do we do with our desire? Well, for me, I believe that it's important to realize that God is at the heart of our longing. The psalmist says, "My soul thirsts for Thee, my flesh yearns for Thee in a dry, weary land where there is no water." David understood that even though sexual intimacy is very fulfilling, that there's a place in me that will never be fully satisfied except by connecting with God. He's the one I'm thirsty for. He's the one I'm ultimately hungry for if I belong to Him. Waiting is tough, and as those of you who've been dating or engaged, if you determined not to be intimate before your marriage, you know how tough it is to wait. Good news is that Jesus also knows about waiting. We believe that He lived for 33 years on the planet without having a sexual partner. And guess what? It's been over 2,000 years that He's been waiting for His bride to mature so that He can enjoy the wedding feast and what follows. It's my belief that if we say no to intimacy with others, Jesus will make it up to us. It's going to be great. Yes, those nights are long when you are so full of desire for physical affection or physical connection. It seems like a long time to wait. But if your fiance is traveling abroad and you're feeling especially desirous, you're probably not going to call them up to get permission to get that fulfillment with another person. You're going to wait till they return. Well, Jesus will return for His bride. He is going to come back for us. And as I said, He longs to be the focus of our desire. God is a jealous God, and He cares about what you do with your body. Until you choose to bring someone into the sphere of your soul, your body, your spirit by uniting with Him in marriage, I believe their physical body is not yours to trespass on. You have to honor it as belonging to God, just as you do. You belong to God. Belonging is where we find our joy, and it's also where we anchor ourselves in our commitment to purity. Is it easy? Well, no, it is not. And you may feel like it's forever that you're waiting. But rest assured, Jesus is waiting for you. He is prepared to give you what you long for. The scripture says that we will experience eternal pleasures at His right hand. What is pleasure in heaven going to be like? Who knows? But you can bet it's going to be better than sex.